and welcome to hell. Welcome to hell itself. I left you yesterday. I was in hell. I had to finish up just as we were about to get going and doing whatever this is going to be. My goals of today are to save Hope. I imagine we've got the fight with Raphael coming, and then go on to explore, right? Go figure out this lower city area. So I'm in hell, and I had the opportunity to steal the Orphic hammer and put behind me the weird sexy times that were trying to happen with me, which was gross. I wasn't sure going into this room that I would have the opportunity to steal the really good items that are on the side of these pillars in the library. The archivist was gone for some reason, which made life easier. So, as I said, I've got better at stealing things. So I sent our boy Asterion out, waited for the right opportunity, and yoinked both of them successfully. I ran so quickly back to my guys to make sure that I wasn't the closest one to the crime in case anybody noticed, and it worked perfectly. It was so good. So I ended up with both of these items. I got some massive strength gloves, a huge necklace of constitution, super strong, and then it was time to steal a hammer, which was surprisingly easy because I had the code now, the whisper that I can make. The archivist rocks up and he's like, hey, you know, you're not who you're supposed to be, and you're in big trouble. Daddy's coming. What does daddy's coming mean? It means Raphael's on his way home and Hope is panicking and she's like, please free me. Please, please, please. So I was like, okay, no problem. I want to free Hope. She seems like a great character. This is my mission. I am not going to let Hope die. There ain't no way, ain't no how. Balls, man. Balls. I was chased by balls, but I came up with one of the most cunning strategies, guys. Like, it's so good. I wasn't sure whether these balls said they, like, exploded and did damage for anybody who was near them all the time. So I was like, okay, do I have to... They have quite a lot of health. They have like 300 HP. So I was like, do I have to keep running at them and then moving away? But they put fire around them. I'm going to take a lot of chip damage. What is the solution here? I turned Asterion into IKEA by having Asterion build walls of candelabras in all the doorways under the idea that it would block the balls being able to roll after me. And it worked. It was so good. It was so, so good. I didn't have to deal with the balls at all. As soon as a ball spawned, I was like, oh, cool. I'll just stack a load of chairs and tables in the doorway and block it up, making this little way of getting in. Blocking them off from him, and it worked perfectly, which was great because I just had to walk around and kill some very low health enemies to eventually go down into the prison to save Hope. Again, we live with our consequences, a phrase that haunts me to this day as we began the fight with Hope. I was so worried that she would die, and it was actually really easy. Surprisingly, it was very, very easy. Like, weirdly easy. And it almost gave me the impression, like, oh, okay, this is the warm-up before we fight Raphael, right? They want Hope there because it's going to be better story content. It's going to be great. And I was like, okay, this makes a lot of sense. What I could do as an idea is I could pop back into Raphael's bedroom and use his fountains of rejuvenation to just replenish all my characters. I think that was a good idea to stop you having to, like, leave hell, go and rest, come back. This worked really well to keep the immersion going and keep you in that environment. I really loved this. So, filled it up, although the balls were back, so I had to stealth past the balls. Which was pretty funny. And then moved forward to the eventual fight with Raphael. I really love the dialogue here, especially with Hope's sister. Just being a total jerkface. She was the first person I killed. When the fight started, absolutely the first person I killed straight away. And got away with some really cool moves in this fight. I think giving Hope the ability to permanently banish enemies from the castle every turn was maybe a little too strong, because I didn't struggle with this fight whatsoever. In fact, I bullied Raphael, if I'm being honest with you. Just that being able to take out a lot of the cambiums, because there's so many enemies in this room when the fight starts, but having Hope be able to just like, oh, that one can go. So if we've nearly killed like 4 of them as one at full health, just get rid of that one. It does have a limited amount of uses, but still, it was very, very strong. And I really like the idea that Raphael, I think they're going to continue this kind of idea, is that the main boss is going to maintain strength until you deal with something else so that you can't just blitz the boss down, which is what they've obviously tried to avoid here by making the bosses much, much stronger unless you deal with something in the room. We had it with the hag previously, and now it's here again with these 4 pillars that are around that are really only susceptible to force damage, which worked out really well for me with Karlach, because Karlach could do mega magic missiles and like trounce them all around the room while my melee was cleaning up the rest of the ads, leaving us just Raphael, and at that point he had no chance. I fully surrounded him in characters, so he couldn't move. He couldn't do anything, and we were just smashing into him. And Raphael is gone. Raphael is gone. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. I managed to bring down Raphael and then leave hell. Surprising, again, how much content you get out of entering, like, one house in the lower city in Baldur's Gate 3. Coming back out, though, I had a bone to pick with that lady behind the counter who made me pay her for information. She's such a jerk. I swore with all my heart I would get that money back. But how? I really wish I could use a slider to only take a certain amount of money from someone. I did convince her that I was not giving her the gloves. I was obviously not going to hand over my mega strength gloves to her. That was not happening whatsoever. So I got out of that, and then I was like, how am I going to get this money off her? I don't want to kill her. She doesn't deserve to die, but I do want my gold back. And the only way to do it was to pickpocket her. And again, I can't slide the amount I need. So very tactfully, I set this up and rolled the dice. It was a very high roll, but I got it. And I took maybe 2,500 gold off her. And then I sprinted for the door. And in the back eye line I had, I could see her following me. And I was like, oh my God. Not only am I now in the streets of Baldur's Gate, she's now going to accuse me of being a thief and get into a fight. And I'm going to murder someone in the streets. And it's all going to go wrong. It's all going to go wrong. I managed to get the high roll and roll that I convinced her it wasn't me. And I can't believe it worked. It was like the first time something like this has actually all worked out fine. Totally fine. And she's just stood in the street going, well, who robbed me then? I'm like, I don't know. It could have been anyone. It was me. It was me. It was me. Oh, so good. And that resolved our devil area. My next plan then was to explore. There's so many things I need to find. I need to find the artist. I need to find the bank. I keep picking up these keys. And so I was exploring, like literally going to the next building is another hour of content in this game. And the next building over to me really was the park. The park was kind of cool because the mother brain is now communicating with me and manipulating people out in the open world. And I keep bumping into people who, my worm detects they're absolutists, but sometimes you have to play it cool and not just butcher them because they're inhabiting like guards and things like that. And it's just going to end badly for you. So you kind of like, okay, you're worm, but I'm going to leave it be. And I killed a couple of those guys. Annoyingly though, after we killed the Barlists, I went to loot them. And one of the people I looted was one of the guards that died in the fight. I got sent to prison for it, which is ridiculous. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. It's not fair, and it's not right, and it is what happened. I got sent to prison for it. And so I could have got out of this. I could have fought my way out, but I haven't been sent to prison yet. So I was like, I kind of want to see what this is like. And it was really fun, actually. I like the way it gives you a little puzzle. You end up with no gold, no weapons. I could bring the rest of the party down and sort of fight my way in. But I wanted to like figure it out myself. There was a rat who could barter with me and sell some things. So I found some things to trade with him and got some animal speaking. So I could speak to him, and he was like, okay, I'll trade you things and things of shiny things that he's found. And he's just interested in shiny things, which means he'll take trash off you. So I traded a few things for like a potion of invisibility. And then I needed to root around to find where my gear was. And I managed to work my way out of the prison, getting all my stuff back without any issue. I actually really liked this little section of the game of just exploring that thing. And then again, just moving on to the next building, which turned out to be Cazador's mansion. This is going to be the end of Asterian's questline. And like I said in a previous video, my game plan here was to allow Asterian to rise to Chief Vampire. I think that's a pretty cool strategy to go with. I have to say the atmosphere in here was really good. And it just shows that even this late in the game, with the ridiculous amount of content it has, the attention to detail of setting a scene that they're still going with. Although it's obviously one of the main characters' story arcs, it's just all the little details, such as the conflict that's happening between the students, I guess is what we can call them, / slaves, freshly bitten, within the mansion. All playing out in the diaries and like, why has this lady got a dictionary? Oh, she was learning the phrases and she actually wanted to drink the blood of this innocent in order to purify herself of the vampire curse. But the other vampires, certainly the father of the daughter, is like, she's a jerk. She's just awful. And the cursed corpses and decursing that and getting into the room. Really awesome, especially with Asterion having to deal with the memories of what he went through in there and the people remembering him and judging him and eventually having to work my way into the gathering where they're hosting these feasts where they invite a lot of people so they can, you know, eat them, essentially, and add them to the ritual. After dealing with that and a lot of werewolves and animals that had feasted on the sort of leftovers of this bloodbath, I found a lift that took me down into an underground, very, very... What's the description? It's almost a sci-fi-esque vampire environment. It was really weird looking, and it reminded me very much of the classic vampire movies where they'd like walk on the ceiling sometimes, and they do all that kind of weird stuff. And so I'm mooching around there and really fun, and found some cages that house people Asterion has bitten. And his almost clear regret of what he did, but also the nonchalance of his personality, trying to play it off, and then meeting children. Where he's forced to admit, is like, yeah, I did bring children, innocent children, to Cazador to feed on. And also, though, he understands that they're now vampiric, and letting them out would be a really bad idea. Which, obviously, as you're aware, leaves me with a real moral quandary. It leaves me with a real moral quandary. It's like, I don't want to kill any kids, but these are also, like, vampire kids. Does that count? I don't know. I've had bad dealings with kids recently, so I'm not sure what to do, as they then point me to the room and say, Cazador is in there, which is where I am up to right now. That's where I'm up to, and I'm sorry to leave you on... I keep leaving everybody on, like, a cliffhanger, but I swear to you guys, I really do, I swear to you, this is how this game is. There's always something happening. Always. In this whole day... was exploring a park, dealing with hell, and now I'm in an underground vampire lair. Like, that is Baldur's Gate 3. It's like, there is no good time to stop, really, unless you're, like, tactically like, okay, we'll have to stop here because something really good's going to happen in the next hour or something. Like, you can't do that, especially when you're playing blind. I don't know what's going to happen next. So there's always something happening. But tomorrow, we're going to finish Asterian's quest line. We're going to ascend him to the top of the Vampire Mountain. It's going to be great. It's going to be wonderful. So I'll see you then. Bye, guys.